Pause Live, the UK's largest menopause event. Get solutions to your symptoms. Meet over 70 brands and laugh out loud at our live stage. Plus, free taster sessions in our wellness hub. Come and connect with your tribe. Tickets are from just $10.99. Get your sparkle back and head over to pauselive.com.
Hello.
She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah.
Listen.
I'm sorry, I'm just into 60s. Are you promised not to tell?
Now, ooh, closer.
Little children. Aha.
Are
Is
you
that a
giving
clue?
clues to something, you two ladies?
Yes. Oh, yeah. We have got the most exciting guest from the 60s, and some of us will remember and others won't. But I'm very, very excited, and I think we all are actually.
Please stop being excited. It's just a
the
bit embarrassing.
amazing, legendary, iconic Billy J.
Kramer. Yes, it is. Now then, I remember him. Was he always in black? He was always, I remember him in suits and always quite sort of, he didn't look like the Beatles, did he? He was different.
No, he wasn't. Yes, exactly. He was much more respectable than the normal sort of average pop stars of the time.
He was very cool and very gorgeous. Very cool and very gorgeous.
Wasn't he very tall as well?
I've just seen a picture of him outside Abbey Road, and he's 80, and he still looks gorgeous and sexy.
Right. Yeah,
really.
That's just our business. It either kills you or you keep on going. I mean, who would have thought that Mick Jagger would have kept on touring till he's 80, God knows what?
That's right.
And siring children, for goodness sake.
Yes. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And I think, and also his music, you can see it's him. You know, I always remember his beautiful teeth and mouth and the way he looked, and he hasn't lost that.
Well, I was little in the 60s, but I remember walking down Carnaby Street, probably at the age of 10 or something, and I had a bell around my neck.
Did you?
Do you remember? Do you remember that? Bells? You used to wear a bell? Well, if you think of peace and love and all of that lot. Or perhaps my parents were trying to tell me that I was a cow?
Or maybe he's trying to find you with a bell.
Yeah, didn't you wear a bell?
No.
I didn't wear a bell.
To signal people, maybe. Maybe that is quite a good way of finding children.
No, I wasn't. Well, I was 10, you know, and I was quite large in those days. I mean, tall, and I had a bell. And I remember having a pair of flared trousers that I got in Carnaby Street that were striped, and they were hipsters, and I hated them because they felt like they were falling down.
Yes, I remember hipsters. And
big look, was it? You got that sort of great roll of whatever it was. If you were a little bit rounder, they weren't good, were they? High-waisted were better.
Yes, I've always liked high-waisted trousers. And then do you remember? I mean, we used to wear. And actually, the boys used to wear horrible Y-fronts in those days. Well, not that I remember boys in knickers then, but Natalie's now looking away. But
no, I'm trying to look for it because I've got pictures of my hubby with the most enormous, what do you call it, sideboards and all the tossy hair, the frilly shirts.
Is that 60s, though, the sideburns, or is that 70s?
Yes. 60s. But it was the frilly shirts and that sort of very flamboyant, gorgeous.
And all the men were very skinny.
They were. That's what I remember.
Very skinny.
Nobody worked out.
No, they just didn't.
No, they didn't work.
I remember once when I just met John, and he took me to a gym, and we had to go miles to find a bloody gym. It was somewhere like in Clerkenwell. I mean, it was because there wasn't one closer. Can you imagine that? There's a gym right now on every doorstep.
Yeah, that's true.
He used to go to the gym, or was he just taking you to deposit you there?
He was trying to get rid of me, darling. You know, like my parents had a bell around my neck to find me, and John was trying to take me to a gym to get rid of me.
But what do you say about the gym and going to the gym?
I'm so unfamiliar with the gym that I call it James.
James, yes. Yes, I think that's a really good way of looking at it. I'm not very keen on the gym either, but I do feel I used to swim a lot.
Well, you would do if somebody threw you in the water.
True. Yes.
Do you like swimming, Nat? Oh, we did swim when we were away, didn't we?
I just thinking anything like that. We're always talking about how important music is, and I think music is the only way I can do housework is with the music full blast. And something about music for all of us, it can be a wonderful, well, it can be a healer, it can make you feel calm, it can make you feel excited, but it can also give you loads of energy. Music is so incredibly important.
And I remember where I was, don't you, with every song that comes out that you listen, because I listen to 60s and 70s music a lot.
Yep.
And I kind of remember where I was at all of the times that I hear certain bits.
Absolutely.
Absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
A lot of the pinpointing of events actually he's covered in movies now, isn't it? And television programs. And any sort of stories you can relate, as you say, to the music. I mean, I remember hearing the Jacksons for the first time.
Yes.
And it was like, oh, how exciting this sounded.
And I remember seeing Donny Osmond. Was it Donny?
Yeah.
It might have been Donny Osmond or Michael Jackson, one of them. It could have been Michael Jackson. It was somebody on a talent show as a little boy. And it was just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
He was so talented. I mean, still I listen to his music and it was so brilliant. It just gives you that energy and vitality, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it just shows that, you can have that much talent and your brain you can't be normal, which is very sad. I think that we have to be but we've got a guest who's still normal, or was he ever normal?
And who is still iconic, and it's going to be very exciting to have a chat with him.
Still really, really gorgeous. Oh, lovely.
Will you stop?
Oh, I can't help. I can't.
I was in love. Were you in love with which Beatle were you in love with, by the way?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I love John Lennon, but actually I love the looks of George.
What about you, Nat?
George. I rather like George as well.
I was like, Paul.
Yeah,
they're all lovely.
They're all lovely, yeah.
No, I love Paul. When I met him many, many, many years later, I said to him, I wrote you a letter in 1964. And he said, did I never reply? I said, no, I'm still waiting for a reply. I always thought one day he would reply, but he never did. So who's our guestie? We've given them lots of clues.
I know. It is the iconic, the gorgeous, the legendary Billy J. Kramer.
Woo!
Somebody help me be all right I am, and now I can do what I do. You were the one, and I couldn't have done it without you.
Hi,
Billy, it's so great to meet you in person. Almost in person. We've just been listening to your fabulous video and songs, and you're doing a fabulous tour, aren't you?
Yes, I do a pro tour, definitely.
It was so good to see you back in Liverpool with all the statues of the Beatles and all of your friends back in the day. And I have to say, you've hardly changed at all. I'm not just saying that because Debbie's the one that usually says that, so I thought I'd get in first.
You better give her a quick tenner, Billy.
Pardon?
You better give her a tenner for saying that.
No, it's all true.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was, I'll be honest with you, it was a lot of fun. We were in Liverpool, and I was with one of the producers, Chef Holtz, and he just got a camera one day, and we went out with this tiny speaker, and it was, sometimes things just work for you. There was we never planned anything. we never scripted any of the videos. We just did it right off the bat, and it just worked out great, you know.
Amazing, amazing. Are you living now in New York?
No, I moved from New York to Chicago.
Wow,
Yeah, Chicago.
fabulous.
It's a great city, you know. Great city.
Yes, I've heard that it's great. I haven't been there. I've been to New York and all over the States, but I haven't been to Chicago. But is that a recent move, Billy?
It's a recent move in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Last 2 years. Yeah.
fantastic.
I like it very much. There's a lot of great stuff there, you know.
Billy, when did you actually move to the States
I moved to
originally?
it's over 35, 36 years.
And what prompted that move?
Um, I think I was just going through a stage where I needed a challenge, you know, and I felt that I was in a bit of a rut career-wise. You know, I mean, it's great, you know, you have to go and sing your old songs, I know that. But what I was doing these tours and I was finishing one tour and starting another. I felt like a parrot because I was singing the same 5 or 6 songs every night of the week. And I was like, I felt terrible because I was forgetting the words. You know?
Exactly. It goes like that.
Yeah, so I just, you know, that was it.
Billy, when you were at your sort of height of your fame, who represented you? Because my mother and stepfather used to represent a lot of the acts in the 60s and sort of late 60s, early 70s. But I wondered if you were one of them.
No, Brian Epstein represented me.
Yeah.
Brian
And after Brian?
Pardon?
After Brian?
A lot of different people. I never ever found anybody really permanently after Brian. You know, Brian to me was a very special manager. You know, he was very hands-on. You know, he would come to shows. He would watch you without he wouldn't tell you he was coming, and then he'd come backstage afterwards, and he had a whole writing pad of the do's and don'ts and what songs and how to announce them and the lighting. You know, he was a very good manager. And, you know, I had a very good relationship with him, and I just never found that.
He was a legend. Wasn't he?
And it must have been just the most incredible era to live through. I mean, your songs and the sounds that you created, they're so iconic. Did you know at the time that there was something very, very special, especially coming out of Liverpool, all that talent?
Well, it was a special time. Let's face it. I think it's the greatest chapter in rock and roll history. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot of fun watching rock and roll when I was a kid growing up, but then being a part of it, you know, was just a fantastic experience. And to work with the Beatles and tour with the Beatles and do the Christmas shows and different things, you know, I mean. It was just a fantastic time, you know?
Absolutely. And also, I think, you know, people remember your big hits, but also they remember you because you looked so sort of gorgeous, as you still do, Billy.
Well,
And
thank you very much.
I'm sure you've got fans all over the world who are still supporting and following you.
Well, you know, I've been very fortunate, and they do support me. Are you with me?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's why, isn't it? You must have really enjoyed recording that. Do you record in the States now?
You know, I recorded that album at Abbey Road, which was a wonderful.
Of course you did.
Yeah. I recorded it at Abbey Road. It was a fantastic experience to go back there after all these years.
How did Brian Epstein find you, or you found him? How did it happen?
I was playing with a band in the evening around clubs and things. I was playing at the Cavern and the Iron Door, and I think it was John Lennon told Brian Epstein, because Brian was putting together what he called his stable of artists. Where he had a company called NEMS, and John Lennon said he should check out that kid Billy Kramer. And Brian came to see me, and also I came very high in the Merseybeat. There was a local newspaper, Merseybeat, and I came back into the Beatles, and I think that also prompted him to sign me.
Mm-hmm. And then, where did you record your first song?
I recorded my first song with George Martin at Abbey Road, which was called "Do You Want to Know a Secret?"
Oh yeah,
that was the first.
Yeah, and then when was Little Children?
Little Children, I had "Do You Want to Know a Secret?" Then John Lennon wrote "Bad to Me" for me. Then I did "I'll Keep You Satisfied," which is the Lennon McCartney song, and then I did "Little Children."
Which is, they're all iconic.
I did "From a Window," "Trains and Boats and Planes."
Incredible. My husband is a big fan, and he said he used to be in a coffee shop in Eastbourne and play you regularly on the jukebox.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Do you remember? I was just thinking as we were talking, do you remember that you used to be able to go and listen to the new songs that came out in a sort of like a record shop, and you'd go into a little booth, wouldn't you, by yourself?
Oh, yeah. Brian Epstein used to have that in his store in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Booth, but yeah. And you can go and listen and say, "Oh, I don't like it."
Yeah, so you didn't have to buy it if you didn't like it.
I know you sold millions, didn't you, Billy?
Well, I guess so. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, records, they don't have records anymore, which is a shame. But I think, I think Little Children one day sold something like 78,000.
Wow.
There's a line at the end of the show of Jersey Boys where they say, "Which was your high spot?" And I think Frankie Valli says, "It was all good. It was all good." Have you got a high spot through your career?
I think it was all good. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, I think high spot, Ed Sullivan's show, the London Palladium show, the Tammy show was a fantastic show to be on. I don't think that got a lot of exposure in the UK, but the Tammy show had James Brown, the Beach Boys, the Miracles, the Supremes,
Wow.
Chuck Berry, Marvin
Wow.
Gaye, the Rolling Stones. It goes on. That was a fantastic show to be on.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Working with such legends, and it's so funny because at the time, I suppose you don't even think about it. You're just there doing it, and then you look back and think, "Shit."
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, to me, they were icons then. People like James Brown and Marvin Gaye, and seeing the Supremes and the Miracles. These were people that I'd seen or heard of and not worked with, but to be part of it was fantastic.
What attracted you to doing it in the first place? Have you got a memory of what happened at the very beginning for you?
Frankly, I didn't set out to do it. I originally wanted to just be a guitar player behind other people, and the band weren't going places, and they said, "Why don't you try the singing?" Which I was reluctant to do it. I was very quiet, very shy back then, not like now. And, I had my guitar stolen at the first gig, so I was lumbered into doing the singing then. So I never had thoughts of being a singer and a pop star.
And what did your parents think, Billy?
They thought that, obviously, they were thrilled that I was successful. My mother was very proud, and I was very delighted that I could do a lot of nice things for her.
Oh,
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Really fabulous. So with the tour is now being planned, Billy.
Yes.
And where do you think you might go? Will it be Liverpool? You'll go in, you know, around England and the States?
I'd like, I mean, I'd like, I mean, I want to do the States, obviously, but I would like to go back to England. I'd like to go into Liverpool and Birmingham and all these places, Bath and Bristol and Sheffield and Manchester. It'd be great to do it all again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it will be a sellout.
And the Palladium.
The Palladium. Yes, I'd like to do the Palladium. I've done the Palladium a couple of times. I really enjoyed it.
Did
Yeah.
you know that Bruce Forsyth's ashes are buried under the Palladium?
No, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, because at that time in the 60s, I suppose, you know, he was a host of whatever Sunday Night at the London Palladium, and then you guys were always on there, weren't you? It was the most exciting night of my life, the Sunday Night at the London Palladium, to see who was coming on.
Well, I mean, the London Palladium was an amazing thing. I mean, I remember as a kid seeing Buddy Holly on the Palladium. I never ever thought that I'd ever be on there, but I was, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you nervous, Billy, when you were on the Palladium?
I'll be honest with you, it was the most nervous I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
It was, you know, I'll be very honest with you. I didn't want to do it, and I asked Brian Epstein, I said, can you get me out of it? Because at the time, I felt, to tell the truth, you know, the Palladium had people like Judy Garland and Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all these iconic people. And I thought, you know, what right have I got? I've been in show business 5 minutes, and I'm walking the same boards as these people. I never slept for months before, you know.
But you got on and you were good. You were fantastic.
Well, I don't know. I was okay. I wasn't at my best.
Do they still have film of that, or has that all been destroyed?
I've always been destroyed.
Oh, isn't it?
Oh.
Isn't that sad? Because a lot of the iconic shows were destroyed by the BBC, and that they were I'd love to see some of them again.
Well, I think that there's a lot of good stuff out there, but I'll be honest with you, I think the BBC at the time, you know, it's like everything else. It's like nobody really realised. I'll be honest with you. People say to me, do you still have the demos of the Beatles when they gave you songs? I went, would you? I mean, they hang up the lyrics, so I never thought about keeping them. We just put them in a box.
Oh my God! If only you had.
Oh yeah. Oh sure.
When people talk about making it, I always think, well, making it is one thing, keeping it is another thing, and you've definitely done that. You're still doing it. It's brilliant.
Well, you know, I mean, I think the great thing is I've never considered it to be a job. It's something that I like to do. It's something that I enjoy, and that's why I keep doing it. And as long as I keep on, you know, as long as I enjoy it, I'll keep on doing it.
And we're still here, and who would have thought all these years later that we would be talking to you on a Wonderbirds program? If you could fast forward when we were screaming over you, sorry, Billy. I think all these years later, here he is in person, well, sort of in person.
Thank you.
It's been lovely to have you on the show.
It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed it.
Total delight.
If people are interested in the album, it's Billy J. Kramer, Are You With Me? And it's BillyJKramermusic.com.
Thank you. We'll certainly put that up so that people can see it. Thank you.
Bye, Billy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.